Alright, welcome back to another video, a reaction video. Now, normally I don't do reaction videos to other people's YouTube channels. That may change in the future when I start doing live streaming again. But right now, I'm going to react to my buddy Ricky, Cinema187 Video Homicide on YouTube. Because for, I would say, the better half of almost a decade now, as me and Ricky have been friends on YouTube, we keep going back and forth talking shit about Army of Darkness. It being one of my favorite movies, obviously, in the channel. You can tell that I love everything Evil Dead. And Ricky, not so much. So, as a bet that we had on our podcast that we've been doing on a weekly basis every Friday, which we'll probably be doing tonight, on his channel, be sure to check him out. He finally reviewed Army of Darkness, and instead of just texting him and telling him my thoughts on it, I thought I would react to it live. And I've been waiting for this all week. So hopefully it puts me in a good mood, because I've been in a really fucking shitty mood all day today. Work fucking sucks, whatever. So hopefully Ricky will have something that's either going to be funny or interesting to say about Army of Darkness that makes this video worth it. Great artwork.
What's going on, everybody? It's Ricky with Video Homicide, back with another movie.
Pause. Look at all those fucking movies, dude. This dude has more movies, I think, than I do video games and comic books. Just maybe. I don't know. His video collection is like, if you're a hardcore movie fan or movie buff, especially when it comes to horror movies, check this dude's channel out. I mean, very, very knowledgeable. But look at that fucking collection. Look at that custom fucking stack of shelves that this dude had to make in his house. Fucking crazy. All right, go.
Recommendation today, we're gonna go back to the year 1992 to take a look at a film directed by Sam Raimi, and that film is called Army of Darkness. So Army of Darkness is the third installment in the Evil Dead franchise. Evil Dead 1 and 2 are two of my favorite films of all time. I think Evil Dead 1 is a masterpiece when it comes to like
absolutely
special effects,
true.
Especially there's a lot of really good stop motion in there. Love that stuff, always did. Evil Dead 2, on the other hand, scared the fuck out of me when I was a kid. I'd seen Evil Dead 2 first.
Okay, so I've heard this from Ricky many times over the years, which I find hilarious. Evil Dead 1, the very first film, was, I think, by far the most scary movie. Evil Dead 2, I think, is the funniest out of the collection. Evil Dead 3 tries to do the whole horror and slapstick thing mixed together. Sometimes it might fall a little flat, but at the same time it is fucking gnarly. It's great. But saying Evil Dead 2 is the scariest, I don't know. That's like me trying to say like Shaun of the Dead was scarier than Night of the Living Dead. I don't know.
All right, my dad had it, showed it to me and my cousin, and I specifically remember us renting Evil Dead 1 from Starlight Variety, which was across the street from the apartments we lived at. So I remember, but before watching Evil Dead 1, I remember shitting my pants. I got my fucking little bag of sour cream and onion chips and my can of Pepsi and probably like a coffee crisp, and I'm like ready to watch Evil Dead 1, right? Because it's a
all I wanted was a Pepsi, please. Just a Pepsi.
big deal when you're a kid, you know what I mean? Like, it's sort of like, I don't think it's that big of a deal nowadays, but like when I was a kid, when we were, like me and my cousin, my brother and stuff, like watching a movie meant something more than just like killing time. You know what I mean? Like we were sort of transformed or, you know.
Pause. Absolutely true. Movies and movie rentals and the family or friend experience when it comes to film has definitely changed and become a little more deranged, I would like to say. We don't do these things anymore, and especially becoming the last generations of kids that grew up with rental stores and sleepovers with your friends, or you're renting movies and going to Blockbuster or Hollywood Video or your local store. We just don't do those things anymore. So, I mean, I don't have any friends in like real life. All my friends are internet friends, so maybe some people do that, so whatever, I'm a loser.
sent to these cinematic universes where we sort of lived for an hour and a half. Like I remember watching Chucky a million times. I remember watching Halloween 1 and 2 a million times, and just all sorts of stuff that we shouldn't have watched when we were kids. But God bless my dad, God bless my mom, God bless my Aunt Chris, because they let us watch whatever the fuck we wanted. And Evil Dead 1 and Evil Dead 2, they were big parts of my life back then. Even me and my Uncle Mike, we would joke about Evil Dead 2, like the scene where you know, the deer's going ape shit and like laughing its ass off and stuff. Like, yeah, as I got older, it became humorous, but when I was a kid, it freaked me out so fucking bad. And then when I came to discover that there was a third film, Army of Darkness, I was like,
that's just funny to me. Like I paused it again. That's just funny to me. I can't say that ever happened. Granted, I'm about maybe 6 years older than Ricky is, but I can't imagine ever being freaked out by Evil Dead 2. There wasn't one part ever. And I saw them in the summer of 6th grade, which is, I don't know, in some countries called primary school or whatever the fuck. But I have no reason to ever think Evil Dead 2 would have ever been scary. I don't know. It's just funny to me to hear this perspective.
Oh my God, this is gonna be insane. The end of Evil Dead 2 is so dope. How he goes to that faraway land, you know what I mean, and kills the Deadite, and Sam Raimi, I think, is the one guy that's cheering him on and all that shit, and he's the savior. Now you pop on Army of Darkness, doesn't really go that way, okay? And that might have been what initially kind of turned me off from this film, because I'll admit I like this film. I wouldn't be talking about it if I didn't like it.
All right, pause. I think all hardcore Evil Dead fans, and I mean the trilogy and the show and the video games or whatever, I think we know that Evil Dead is like one of the first franchises that retcons its own fucking lore every single installment of the film. I mean, Evil Dead, he goes to a cabin with his friends, everyone dies except for Ash. Evil Dead 2, the beginning, retcons all of that. He just goes up to the cabin with his girlfriend. Army of Darkness, he's the savior. Army of Darkness, the actual movie, he's a slave. I'm Ash, and I'm a slave. It shouldn't be a surprise. Go.
But I just, you know, when I was a kid, like I can take it now. I can deal with it now. But when I was a kid, I was like, nah, fuck that shit. And plus, it was, you know, too funny and all this stuff. There was too much humor.
Really?
Okay.
I think there's clips on my channel of you, Ricky, that say otherwise, and streams. Anyway, we'll continue.
Yeah, Evil Dead 2, funny movie. When you're older, when you're a kid, not so much. I didn't see Army of Darkness when I was a kid. I saw it when I was probably like 13, 14, in that area. I'd already watched fucking like a bunch of other crazy stuff. So I was primed, and horror comedies have never really been my forte, if you want to say that, you know what I mean? I'm more a fan of, you know, I like...
All right, pause. So that's where you fucked up. That's where you fucked up, bud. Like, what the fuck? Like, Evil Dead came out in what, like 1992? You should have seen the movie. Your dad should have showed you the movie. Your cousin, whoever the fuck. You just... See, this is like the thing with like other films. Labyrinth. The movie Labyrinth is huge with some people. Not with me. Some people really like the fucking whatever something bride. I can't even think of it right now. But some kids fucking hate that, or kids, adults now hate that movie because they just weren't the right age to see it. The Princess Bride, what the fuck, the something bride. Anyway, continue.
I love slashers, but I guess now, like where I'm at now, I just like good murder mystery films. So like a good giallo, like you cannot go wrong. Deep Red is one that I want to rewatch. All the Argento stuff. Shout out to Necro Style, my homie Richie the Caterpillar out of the UK. He actually designed the cover art for the documentary Panico, which is Dario Argento's documentary that just was released on Shudder not long ago. So big kudos to Richie. That's fucking awesome. He's part of Team 187. Speaking of, for anybody that doesn't know, I have a zine called Cinema 187 where a bunch
Okay, pause. So yes, if you weren't aware, some of you are, some of you aren't, some of you are, some of you aren't, but Yeah, Ricky started this magazine, Cinema 187, I want to say about like 3 years ago. I've been writing on it since the beginning. It is a contributor independent magazine. Very, very cool. All dedicated to horror movie stuff. So if you're into independent artists, you're into magazines with no fucking bullshit ads, and you're into underground horror, independent horror, modern horror, it's all there. So check it out on his channel and find the way to get the magazine. No proceeds go to me. I'm not saying this because it's sponsored. I just like writing for magazines because that's what I've always done. But if you want to support independent artists and an artist like Ricky, go check it out.
Artists get together and just draw stuff out of horror films. So issue 1, like, to put it in perspective, I always do this because it's fucking insane. Issue 1 had 4 people. Issue 2, which is the Robert Crumb homage, if you're a fucking fan of Robert Crumb, 9 people. This one had like 24, which is number 3. Issue 4 right here had like 28. We cover the video nasties in this one, and then the most recent issue, which is issue 5, the Asian exploitation issue.
And pause. Do you see how thick those magazines are? This isn't just articles, I just want to point out. These aren't just articles. This is literally like articles mixed in with like crazy artwork from all around the world. Keep that in mind. Go.
There's like 25, 26-ish or something like that.
Pause, which you get to see my artwork of the Ring, and I mean, it's pretty sick. Anyway.
And the thing that's even crazy, upcoming issue 666, 32 people. 32 fucking people are now involved in 187, and Richie the Caterpillar is one of them. So let's get back to Army of Darkness. So the things that I love about the film,
let's hear it.
I love that it's goofy, okay? Like I said, when I was a kid, I didn't like that shit. But now, you know, I remember specifically when I was a kid watching the scene where he like pours the hot liquid down his mouth to kill like the miniature ash.
Pause. It's hot chocolate, Ricky. It's hot chocolate. He says it like 3 times. How about some hot chocolate, ah? Come on, get the line right.
I was like, that is so fucking stupid. This time, maybe it's because I was high as a fucking kite when I watched it. I was like, I was laughing my ass off the majority of the film, which was refreshing. Okay, a few things though that kind of pissed me off for an Evil Dead film. Not a lot of blood. Not a lot of blood. Early on in the film, you get like a geyser of blood, really nice, like bright red blood squirting out of that fucking cellar.
Pause. You got to remember, TriStar. You can thank TriStar for that. All the greedy little, grubby little hands getting into the fucking movie and fucking it up. If you haven't ever read Bruce Campbell's books or listened to him on Audible, which you fucking should, he tells you all about how TriStar fucked all that up. So yeah. Anyway, continue.
I don't know. There should have been more blood in this film, I think. I like the way that Evil Ash looked, but I wasn't a fan of the way that Sheila looked. I wasn't a fan of the original witch in the cellar there, or not in the cellar, sorry, the well. You know, I think that everything, all of the dead, like Henrietta, they should have, like, where's the quality of that? You know, the stuff that they showed in this film was so fucking, they were...
Pause. TriStar, it's TriStar. Continue.
Very generic looking, and that's what I think I didn't like about it, because when you look back to Evil Dead 2 especially, like, look at the blonde-haired guy, what happens to his face, and what happens to the fucking, you know, like the original, like, Linda. Like,
pause. That's because, I'm sorry, I have to keep pausing. It's because Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell started Rosebud. It's a company that was, like, just fictitious at the time, so they could get the movie distributed. They had no one that was holding them to any kind of sort of fucking accountability. They were allowed to get away with whatever they fucking wanted to at the time. And even then, they still had to make sure they got an R rating for the film, so that's why there's stuff that's cut out. But you gotta take that in accountability, bud. All right, continue.
All that stuff to me looked so much better, and it's like you guys had so much more money. You got Universal fucking Studios behind you, and the effects look better in Evil Dead 2. You know, it's insane. But like, if you can look past that, you got a fucking fun movie. I love medieval movies, and I love horror films, and I'm sort of in this like mindset recently of Evil Dead's basically on my mind because I'm writing this comic for issue 6 that takes place at a cabin. Okay, so I'll just leave it at that, and that will be probably the last comic I make this year, other than Filthy Ralph Out on Parole.
Which are very
you guys
excellent.
That don't know, I also do a comic book called Filthy Ralph. This is the most recent story, but I do have like full-size comics and stuff like that. Like Blood Drunk is actually the thing that I'm most proud of. This is the most crazy thing that I did all year so far. But I'm looking to outdo this coming soon with my next comic, which is actually called Blood Drunk Part 2, mind you. And that will wrap up the Blood
And pause. This guy, I know it seems like he's underselling all of his stuff that he does, but his artwork is truly outstanding. I know like I sound like I'm sucking my friend's cock, but at the same time, the artwork is outstanding. Ricky has done artwork over the years that I've known him. He's made pictures of me looking all fucking zombified and with a chainsaw hand sitting next to a zombified Ninja Turtle playing a fucking NES game. Because, you know, this channel used to be all about retro video game reviews, which one will be coming out soon. It's just, the guy undersells himself. So check out his shit. Continue.
story because I don't want to milk it too hard. Maybe I'll milk it into a third one, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, what I was getting at is with like the whole Evil Dead thing, like tonight when I got home, scrolling around, seen Evil Dead 2 on Shudder, I believe, or maybe it was on Tubi, and I put it on for a minute, and I was like, you know what? This...
Pause. Why don't you own these movies, Ricky? The fuck, dude? These are films that you need to own in your physical collection. Not fucking rely on streaming services. The fuck you gonna watch when the internet goes down? It better be Evil Dead. Continue.
Like the perfect opportunity. Like, I haven't watched this in so long, but you know I haven't seen even longer is motherfucking Army of Darkness. I'll do it for my buddy Forrest, Retro or Die, man. So, I like the old wise man. I like the asshole guy with the fucking straight hair and all that stuff. Like, what the hell is his name? Something the Red. Henry the Red. I liked all that stuff. My favorite part about Henry the Red is when, like, he's about to die, basically, and then Ash saves the day. And he's like, all right, you guys go. Get out of here. And then Henry the Red just starts laughing. He, like, grabs the guy and, like, laughs in his face. And it's like, that is the laugh of a man that thought he was about to die 10 seconds ago, and now he's free. Like, it was...
Pause. You forgot the best line. You forgot the best line. When he's talking to... When Ash is talking to Henry the Red, and he's like, I'm Henry the Red, free leader of all his free peoples. And Ash just looks at him with this, like, really fucking disgusted look. And he's like, I got two things to say to you right now. You ain't running two things but Jack and shit. And Jack left town. That's like one of the best lines of the entire film. God damn. Alright, continue.
I like shit like that. And I really loved the scene where Ash goes into, like, the trunk of his car looking for parts or some bullshit. And you actually see an issue of Fangoria, and you also see an issue of Dark Horse Presents. So for my comic book heads out there, Dark Horse Presents, I think that Sin City might have got its start in the page.
Pause. You also see a fucking chemistry book, like Advanced Quantum Chemistry Physics, which was fucking weird to see for Ash, because we know Ash, if you know Evil Dead, Ash is a fucking dumb moron fuck. So what the fuck he was doing with a chemistry molecular book doesn't even make sense. And when he goes on that rant about when he's talking to his chick in the movie, and she's like, put that down, you wouldn't understand composites and molecular structures and shit. It's like, he doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about. Anyway, continue.
The Dark Horse Presents, but I could be wrong on that. Big Sin City fan. I love that fucking book. It's pretty goddamn good. It's I'm due to reread that. I keep saying that, but I really got to get my ass in gear and check that book out again. Or books, I should say.
Get your ass in gear.
7 fucking books in the series, but...
Buy the comic books of Army of Darkness.
Love the way that all the graveyards look great. One thing that, like, always cracks me up about this film is, like, the Book of the Dead, or like the books of the dead, the Necronomicons. They're like just on a table like that. Here's my biggest pet peeve, man. That
oh great.
Fucker just dropped
Let's hear
wires
it.
and I almost dropped Chucky. This is the Book of the Dead from Evil Dead 2. Okay? This is
yes,
like the DVD.
The DVD collection.
I finally fucking got a copy of this. I was so happy when I did, but this is sick.
Fucking lucky. They're expensive
now. The book they
now.
used in Evil Dead 1 is fucking sick, but the book they used in Evil Dead 3, wasn't a fan. Didn't think it was that great. I'm just looking at my wallet here because I did alphabetize everything up to...
He can't even find it.
Okay, so...
He just watched the movie, he can't even find it.
Evil Dead experience here. So
it's because he threw the he threw the Army of Darkness DVD up his ass.
Paid $2 for it. This is the Anchor Bay. It's got commentary with Sam Raimi and producers. Got a commentary with Bruce Campbell.
Yes.
Footage and outtakes.
I did a video on this
Good
already.
Stuff. DVDs rule and always will. Evil Dead 2. Fucking love it.
Blu-ray.
We got commentary
Nice.
with Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell, Greg Nicotero, Scott Spiegel. Interviews with the cast.
That's a good commentary.
Fuck yes. And then the remake of Evil Dead, which I like. This movie is nice and violent, and that's what I like about it, and that's pretty...
Pause. I have to disagree with him here. I really hate when I hear people say this is a remake. The Evil Dead movie that came out in 2013 is not a fucking remake. It's clear that it's not a fucking remake. I don't know why everyone says it's a fucking remake. It's not. You watch the movie. Ash's car is still parked, crashed against the fucking tree in the movie from where it sat in Evil Dead 2. So, and there's lots of lines and shit, like you hear nuances throughout the woods for the movie that references Evil Dead 2. So, in true Evil Dead fashion, it's just another fucking retcon. That's all it is. So maybe Ash didn't go back in time, or if he did go back in time, the car didn't get sucked through the fucking warp hole. I don't know. But it's not a fucking remake. It's definitely a sequel. Especially because of the end credit scene showing Ash. So... Anyway, continue.
Much it. And I like it takes place in a cabin. I like the basement with all the dead cats, all that bullshit. Witchcrafty stuff. I like the nerdy asshole deciphering the book. But other than that, I think the characters are fucking whack. They're insufferable. I hate them, especially the main girl and the main guy. Don't like them. I'm sorry, but you know, what can you fucking say? Other than that, I really do enjoy this film. And when you're fucking late at night, you get yourself a copy of this. Okay.
Okay, pause. I don't know how you could not like all the characters from the 2013 movie. I thought the 2013 movie was fucking outstanding. Like, I don't even know I don't know how you could fucking, oh my god, this is gonna have to turn into another thing that we're gonna have to talk about on the podcast tonight. There's no way that the 2013 movie actors were horrible, or the story was bad. And Evil Head, I do own a copy of that. I'm not gonna pull it on stream, because I know how YouTube is about suggestive content. But yeah, I own a copy of Evil Head, and if you've never seen Evil Head, I'm not going to say anything. Anyway, continue.
Anyways, I'm just trying to think if I got any final thoughts on Evil Dead. The version that I watched tonight, I don't know if I already mentioned this or not, but it was the version where at the end of the film, Sam Raimi takes the 6 drips or drops of that shit, wakes up too late, and it's like a Planet of the Apes style fucking, no kind of thing. Because the other version that I have on VHS.
Pause. Oh no. So that means Ricky watched the alternative ending where Ash accidentally miscounts the drops and wakes up in Apocalypse Land, and he's like, I slept too long! The shit that I've used in millions of videos on this channel. The real ending is where he comes back to S-Mart. Lady, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave the store. Anyway, continue.
What I've seen when I was a kid is the one where at the end of it he's working in a variety store, or not a variety store. Maybe it's this version.
It's
that I
S-Mart.
I've seen him where he works in the supermarket. But regardless,
he works at S-Mart.
Is it a good film?
S-Mart.
Yes, I like it. Bruce Campbell, is he a fuckhead? No, he's not. I like Bruce Campbell. So basically, for 10 years, I've been pulling a farce on my friend Retro or Die. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody for watching. If you want to order the zines, message me at cinema.187 on Instagram. And with that being said, 666. Adios.
Okay, let's break this down real quick. Okay, so Ricky's saying he's been pulling a farce on me. I don't know if that's actually true. I don't know if that's true. There's been plenty of streams and plenty of clips where it doesn't seem to be true. Now, as a hardcore Evil Dead fan, obviously with the channel, if you love Evil Dead, the amount of videos referencing Evil Dead or made about Evil Dead on this channel are fucking sickening. Like, you'd want to probably like blow your brains out hearing me talk about it as much as I do. Army of Darkness is a fucking great movie. I don't give a shit what anyone says. You need to be the right age, and you need to show, like, if you're gonna do an Army of Darkness thing for anybody that's a newcomer, you need to do the trilogy in straight row. You can't do the space in between, especially if your kids are young, which you should show them Evil Dead when they're young. I would say start at 6th grade, as soon as they're starting 6th grade, so we're like talking about 10 or 11 years old. Show them Evil Dead through Army of Darkness. You can wait on the 2013 film because it's pretty fucking horrific and gruesome. But overall, I'm impressed that Ricky did the video, and I'm happier that I got to react to it in this way because it's fresh and it'll give us something to talk about in the podcast. And if you love Evil Dead and you're like jumping out of your seat wanting to like tap on the keyboard like you're gonna swallow your soul kind of crap, then do it. And you should watch his video and leave comments saying Forrest says I'm gonna swallow your soul in his comment section on this video. Like, go there, flock there, flood it, and leave nothing but that comment, and he'll know exactly what's coming. I mean, it's the same thing when I've ever met someone that's never saw Highlander. Like, how have you not seen fucking Highlander? I don't know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this reaction video. I enjoyed it. He's one of my good friends on YouTube. I'm gonna do more content like this in the future, including more game reviews. Don't worry, one is in the works. I already have 6 games stacked up that are ready for the next one. Anyway, and the Silent Hill gameplay that came out with Pyramid Head that I'll react to later. Anyway, this is Forrest, this is Retro or Die, and I will see you later. Have a good Friday night.